Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Rasina binti Rusklana. So today I will be discussing about drug abuse among teenagers. So let's move on with the introduction. People are most likely to begin abusing drugs in such an early age, which is since adolescence and young adulthood. It's happened because they were not aware of these drug consequences that they will get once they take it, and they will lack of knowledge about the drug itself. Also, they were full with curiosity to know and to learn new things without knowing it might harm their body. Involving with friends that take the drug itself lead to the beginning of drug abuse among them. Drug abuse has been the most complex social problem faced by the country. The community involved with drug abuse was not bounded by age and involved all groups, either poor, rich, public servant, or even a student, and many more. Based on drug abuse statistics stated by National Anti-Drug Agency, in 2020, there are a total of 128,325 individuals that involved with drug abuse and addict. 4.5% of it was a female and 95.5% were a male. Mostly, they were teenagers with 65.0% and adult with 32.9% and adolescent was 2.0%. Most of them were Malay and some of them were Chinese, Indian and many other races. Drug abuse also has been defined as an extreme desire to obtain and use increasing amount of one or more substance. The more they take it, the more it causes damage on their brain system. It's dangerous because it may lead to several crimes such as stealing, robbing, killing, and many more. Next, drug abuse is regarded as a brain disease since drug can change the brain structure and how it works. Changing brain structure may lead to severe damage and dysfunctional such as cognitive dysfunctional, cannot focus, cannot differentiate which is good or bad, and so many more. When someone uses drugs for a long time, it can cause change in other brain chemical system and circuit as well. It can hurt our judgment, decision making, memory, and ability to learn. The problem of drug addiction is complex and agreed globally as a chronic and relapsing disease. Drugs directly affect the user's brains and can affect their thought, feeling, and behavior change. This problem also poses a serious threat to the health, safety, prosperity of the family, community, and the country as well as to the addict itself. The final impact of this problem can affect the overall development of the country or in particular resulting in misery to the addict and their family. So it's very important for us to take part of spreading the awareness of drug abuse so we can prevent it from keep spreading. Next, we will be moving on to the types of drug. There is various types of drug that usually been used and taken by the teenagers. It also gives different effects to them. First, methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is a central nervous system stimulant. It's either in powder form or paste form. Ice is a common name for crystal methamphetamine and is particularly potent. All forms of methamphetamine are synthetically made. Methamphetamine can be smoked, injected, snorted, or shafted. Next is cannabis. Cannabis is a drug that comes from the plant Cannabis sativa. It comes in three main forms. First, marijuana. It is dried flowers and leaf. Second is hash, and the third one is hashish oil. It is also known by a number of names including grass, pot, weed, dope, and ganja among many others. The third one is ecstasy. Ecstasy is a man-made drug that has both stimulant and hallucinogenic properties. It is often called e-pills or SC. It is usually impossible to know exactly what chemicals are contained in ecstasy, as manufacturing changes constantly and is not controlled. Ecstasy may or may not contain MDMA and a range of other substances. Cocaine. Cocaine is a stimulant made from processing leaf of coca plant and usually comes in powder form. Cocaine can be cut or mixed with other substances including glucose, lactose, and baking powder. Cocaine is known as a coke, Charlie, snow, blow, and others names. Inhalant. Inhalant, also known as a volatile substance, have a range of effects depending on the substance used. The vapor of volatile substance when inhaled through the nose or mouth can cause a person to feel high or intoxicated. They can also cause confusion. Examples of inhalants such as petrol, spray paint, glues, aerosol paints, and cleaning fluid. The last one is heroin. Heroin is one of a group of drugs called opioids. Other opioids include opium, morphine, codeine, and methadone. Opioids are depressant, which means they slow down the body's central nervous system. Opioids are made from the resin of the seed pod of the opium poppy. Many forms of opioids are used for medical purposes, mostly for pain relief. Heroin is an illegal opioid made from morphine or codeine by a chemical process. The potency and purity of heroin varies. Next, we'll be moving to the sign of addiction. There is a few signs to detect someone that addict. First, an urge to use the drug every day or many times a day. Second, taking more drugs than they want to and for longer than they thought they would. Third, always having drugs with them and buying it even if they cannot afford it. Next, using drugs even if they cause trouble at work or make they lash out at family and friends. Spending more time alone and not taking care of their self. Next, stealing, lying, or doing dangerous things such as driving while high or having unsafe sex. The last one, spending most of time using or recovering from the effect of the drug and feeling sick when trying to quit. Next, I'll be showing a short clip about someone that addicted with heroin.
Eyes open, you think about heroin. Nothing else. Nothing else. And any addict that's watching this will attest to that. And if you don't have money, you're thinking about how to get money to get heroin immediately.
Jason Amaral's hunt for heroin began at 7:30 in the morning on a brisk day in downtown Boston.
All right, I'll see you there in like 5 minutes.
He allowed our cameras to follow him as he tried to get money to get high.
I have to get my money at Western Union, but you saved me a little? All right, I don't give a f***. I'll go with you to wherever, buddy. Are you serious? Come on. Oh, yeah, don't answer your phone, you f***ing dumb.
From a parking garage, he called his Aunt Beth in Florida begging for cash.
Can you send me $30? Believe me, this is the last time I'm doing this to you. This doesn't work this time, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm serious.
He hopped a train to meet a friend who gave him a few pills of Klonopin, an anti-anxiety medication known to addicts to take the edge off the urge.
Next, factor of drug abuse among teenagers. First is sex. Males are twice as likely to have problems with drugs than female. It is because they are more socialized with others and they were more daring than a female. Next is mental condition. Anxiety, depression, and other mental conditions can lead to drug abuse. Third is environment. Friend pressure and lack of parental guidance and supervision was main factor of teenagers involved in drug. They were lack of knowledge and educate from the family, so they involved with drug because they want to try it and it's because of pressure from friends. Last one is social media. Because of too much expose of a limitless drug culture that seems fun and following trend, teenagers are most likely to try it because they think it's not wrong and many people do it. Also, the development of technology and the sophistication of communication and information system provide considerable space for the creation and emergence of new psychoactive drugs in the market. Drugs are no longer confined to conventional manufacturing in forest or rural areas, but are more advanced and sophisticated, with processing in small and sophisticated labs in urban and residential. With modern technology, the material commonly used in industry and home are very easy to obtain and process into NPS, which are more cost-effective and demand. This NPS drug is no longer smuggled but is processed in a local market system by using easily accessible chemical within the country. We'll be moving to the issue of drug abuse. Do parents educate and give enough knowledge and attention? Friends lead teenagers to involve in drug, and public acceptance toward those addicts and their perception about them. Family is the smallest unit in society, so one of the family factors include the influence of parents on their children is large. Where the children who abuse drugs are not educated well, lack knowledge, unhappy, lack attention, and when relationships are less harmonious with their family. Friends not only provide access to substance, but also model drug using their behavior and help shape belief and positive attitude toward the use of drugs. So it's well known that teenagers who have friends taking drug are more likely to use drug themselves. People are more likely to have negative attitude toward those suffering from drug addiction because they feel not safe around them. Public mostly got perceptive that the addict is a bad or weak person, especially because the drug they use is illegal. Next, this is article from newspaper about drugs. So you can see that Kelantan sees alarming rise in drug addict. Pesta mabuk dadah pada majlis hari jadi and 6 maut terambil dadah. So as we can see, drug is dangerous and really a big problem in our society. So we need to prevent it. Next, we'll be talking about impact in teenagers. So we can see that whoever who addict with drug will fail their school because they were not interested anymore with studies. Next is problem with family and other relationship. This is happening because they like to spend more time alone when they take drugs, or they will spend time with friends that taking the drug with them. Next is loss of interest in normal healthy activities. So they will lose interest with healthy life, like go jogging or spending time socialize with friends, hanging out with friends, talking about positive things. Next, impact of drug abuse in teenagers is impaired memory and increased risk of contracting infectious diseases such HIV via risky sexual behavior or sharing contaminated injection equipment. It also have mental health problems include substance use disorder of varying severity and risk of overdose until death. Ways to prevent drug abuse. The issue of drug addiction among adolescents and children should be taken seriously as the onset of abusive drug abuse among children is decreasing, which is 10 years. Early exposure of children and adolescents to drug, as well as the presence of risk factors such as easy drug acquisition, antisocial behavior, family member with addiction history, academic fail, smoking, family affair, and family economic problem, giving space and increase their probability of using drug at a younger age. So, supportive parent and monitoring of teenager behavior are very important to prevent them from involving in drug. Parents also need to educate them with a good attitude and knowledge. Also, giving attention to teenagers very important so they would not involve in bad activities. Second, finding a good friend is really important to help teenagers to get away from drugs. Involved with friends that are supportive and had a healthy life is a very good thing. And as a good friend, preventing teenagers to take drugs again by advising them and spread awareness of the bad impact of it will work when they manage to build trust for each other. So make the teenagers to feel they were important, so they will trust us. So next is public acceptance are very important to help those drug addicts to have a new life. We should give the addict who want to change a new chance to make up their life. Avoiding them would make things worse, so everyone need to help and spreading the awareness of it by doing campaign and make everyone realize the importance of teamwork to have a peaceful life. It is undeniable that family members and members of the community play an important role in the recovery process of an addict. They become important agents and need to be integrated in an effort to help recovering addict return to society through the reintegration system. Often, the reason why the correctional process fails is that there is a negative rejection and stigma in the family and society against ex-drug addict. The reintegration system need to be encouraged to raise awareness of how they have a role and responsibility together with the government in assisting ex-addicts through the recovery process as well as giving them the capacity and basic skill in carrying out the recovery process. Okay, next, this is the list of NGOs that provide a help for drug addict. So first we got Pemadam Kebangsaan, and we got Agensi Anti Dadah Kebangsaan, we got Persatuan Pengasih Malaysia, and also we got Persatuan Anti Dadah AIDS Malaysia. So this is National Anti-Drug Agency (ADK). The goal of NDP is to keep Malaysia and Malaysians free of drug trades, to ensure the well-being of the community and to maintain national stability and resilience through following strategy. There is 5 strategy. First core is preventive education. Prevention is a long-term strategy to prevent and suspend and deter individuals from engaging in drug abuse by focusing on programs that are capable of enhancing protective factor and reducing risk factor. Prevention is aimed at improving skill, endurance, and promoting individuals to function in a healthy physical and socio-cultural environment. Second core is treatment and rehabilitation. Treatment and rehabilitation is a process of helping addicts to stop searching compulsive drug use and subsequently abandoning drug addiction habits. This process is implemented in different settings, approaches, and time frames. It involves the process of intervention and support to enable individuals to deal with addiction problems, make the right decision in relation to their life, and integrate themselves in family and community. Third core is enforcement. Enforcement encompasses the broad scope of activity in the eradication of drug symptoms, including complaint and intelligence, operation and arrest, investigation and prosecution, and ensuring conviction of execution. It also complements treatment and rehabilitation service, in particular in ensure that individuals who have been ordered by the courts to undergo treatment and rehabilitation program either at the institution or in the community to treatment and rehabilitation program and are responsible for the safety of the rehabilitation center. Core 4 Harm mitigation. Harm mitigation is a policy, program, and method aimed at reducing harm of consequences of drug abuse to individuals who are unable or unwilling to use drugs in terms of health, social, and economy. Harm mitigation acts as a complement to other strategies, prevention, treatment and rehabilitation, and enforcement, leading to reduced demand for drugs. The last one is Core 5 International Cooperation. The problem of smuggling, distribution, drug abuse, and addiction is a global problem across borders. Hence, international cooperation is seen as an initiative and shared responsibility and should be an essential core and strategy in addressing this problem. International cooperation is contained in documents such as political declaration and plan of action on international cooperation toward an integrated and balanced strategy to counter the world drug problem of 2019. International relations involve bilateral and multilateral cooperation and are complementary to 4 other key principles: prevention, treatment and rehabilitation, enforcement, and harm reduction. So these 5 cores are some strategy that have been decided by ADK or a National Anti-Drug Agency. If you guys want to know more, you can look into their official website. that is International Anti-Drug Agency, to find out more about the strategies that they state here. So for the conclusion, drug use and addiction cause a lot of disease and disability in the world. It's a chronic disease characterized by drug seeking and use that is compulsive or difficult to control despite harmful consequences. Most drugs affect the brain and it can lead to cognitive dysfunction and many other effects. There is also load factor leads to teenagers to take drugs. So to prevent it, everyone need to take action and work together to help them, because drug addiction is treatable and can be successfully managed. To prevent drug abuse, teacher, parent, volunteer, and healthcare provider and public should have important roles in educating young people and preventing drug abuse from spreading. Thank you so much.